Speak to them and they'll come.
We're supposed to have a call and
Why
do I?
Speak to them and they'll come.
Oh.
How you doing, Aman?
All good. What about
Hi
you?
guys.
How's it going?
It's going so far, it's going.
You guys on break now?
Yeah, it's still over this summer for us.
Theoretically, but we never close.
Yeah, we never close exactly.
We never close.
Got it.
Especially in this environment that we're in. We better be very, very
You
astute.
wouldn't know it from the stock market, but I guess on the hiring side.
Watch the market. Market is back, but be careful. This is gonna be I don't know.
So I like your background. That's pretty cool. I got an email from Lehigh that one of the directors or two of the directors used to work in the stock exchange.
Yeah. We have this is when I took these students. I took them to I think 2 years ago. We went to the New York Stock Exchange. Actually, there's no trading going on there. I didn't,
Really?
you walk around, but it's just for show.
Really? The whole thing is just for show. They
Yeah,
don't do
I mean, this is an actual picture,
Okay.
right? Inside the New York Stock Exchange. So basically, they use it for there's no pit,
There's no open
it's
outcry.
mostly done online. And I mean, you have all the channels, the media that stays there, take pictures, and so I didn't realize that. I thought that they were still running around making trades.
Yeah, I thought the specialists are there. The market makers are there, right? Behind the desks. Or even that
Yeah,
doesn't.
yeah. I mean, yeah, but it's not like it used to be, right? The people running around and
Yeah.
no.
Used to be chaotic.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is online. I mean, it's good to go. It's a good picture too.
Guess
So
it's turning out
Prakash
to
is
be-
joining us. I mean, have you guys spoken with Oliver? You guys as
We met this weekend.
Yeah, me and Parker just met this week.
Prakash's got a huge coding background with lots of fancy stuff, so he should be able to help you a lot. And I have somebody else joining, but I don't know why I don't see him yet. Anyway, you could start with what you want to do.
Sure, yeah. So I guess we can start. So effectively, this is essentially continuing on from the last semester right now. Since starting then, the biggest thing that I've been trying to work on right now is trying to change where I'm getting my stock data provided from. Because previously I was using Yahoo Finance, and then they made some changes onto that. So it's been a little bit of an issue. I'm just trying to pick out effectively right now. I'm looking at like three different choices right now where I want to get the data from, thinking of either Polygon, IEX, or there was another third one that I'm looking into. So I was thinking of looking into one of those just to replace it because right now I'm finding it even hard to run on just to get like a single day's articles is like it's already struggling. It doesn't even want to provide me anything. So I've just been trying to work on to get it back to the state where it was while it was working on Yahoo Finance.
It was working on Yahoo Finance?
Yeah, we were running and getting our stock data, everything from Yahoo Finance
Oh,
previously.
okay.
So right now they made some changes. They've limited the rates and how much you can get data from them so now I wanted to get something else instead. Because right now it's even a struggle to just get 1 day's worth for one stock company. Because it's like you do a request and it's like you gotta wait an hour or two. It's like
Any think it's possible to do it with Google Sheets or something like that? They provide free stock data.
yeah, I mean, like I said, we could do that, and then it's just like a record that we just make ourselves and then continue to build off of
Yeah.
that. I haven't really thought about using that. I was kind of just wanting to see if I could just pick up a different API or a different package that'll just contain that right away and then use that just to get back where I was.
I'm also trying to do any web scraping, like any small source. Like sometimes you find the data from some unknown source as well, and it's really worth it. Like when you see the data, when you find like even from if you even you want to find from Reddit like some small source, and you can go to channel and link up to that, and you can find it.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to do some web scraping over here, but so far not that concrete data.
Okay. And again, the same problem on the API and the news API side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we still have the limits on the use
Uh,
API.
I
Yeah.
have talked to someone about regarding the API, but they said like it can't take that much payload. They have
Yeah.
tried. So that's what's my biggest concern. Even if I try to go ahead with them and talk further, but they said like was not that worth it. So they are also in the same boat with us.
Hmm.
They're working on different project, but yeah, same thing.
Yeah. There's there's the wire. See, there's a thing called the wire, which is where people need to put out some kind of press release. They pay to put stuff on the wire.
Yeah.
What that'll do is it'll remove news sources, so you won't get, for example, anything the company itself doesn't disclose,
Mm.
then you won't get that. But everything the company discloses, they put on the wire. Anything, meaningful that way. So that's a good source of alternate data, and that's free. It's like paid for by the companies.
Okay.
I guess, I think PR Newswire, and then there's one more, right? The big one.
Can you
Um,
tell the name again?
PR Newswire, and there's one more.
Okay.
One by Berkshire. Get the name. Get the name of the other one. Business Wire. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe these.
Mm.
So you'll get anything M&A related, anything like new product launches, all that kind of stuff we'll get from there.
Okay.
Mm. Mhm. Never try to look at the wire itself. Yeah. Okay. So then anything else from the algorithm, anything? Or the front end?
Yeah, with the front end, I'm leaving it kind of how it is right now just because I haven't been able to test it so far in the past like couple weeks just because I've been trying to get it to rework again with the stock data. So it pretty much is staying the same as far as I have right now, but once I'm able to get it back and then when we provide the news scrape sources or any information on that, we can make some changes on that end. But right now I'm just trying to fix the thing back from
Hmm.
what Yahoo Finance was.
I have found few APIs on Business Wire. I think I can run on my Flask server and see like if we are getting something or not.
Take a look.
Okay.
News.
Nothing on Google News, right? They don't have an API, do they?
No, and Business Wire.
But does Google News have one?
Check.
So I didn't hear you.
Does Google News have one?
Let me check.
I think it might be discontinued.
Hmm.
Aman, like how, if we are getting historical data, right, as well?
Historical news?
Yeah, historical news data.
Yeah. Or alternatively, we could just, even if we get on it today, then we can collate. I don't know if we can do that actually.
Okay, so we have to do like a lot of exceptional handling in that, because I have downloaded the historical data in India in ICICI Bank API server, try to do with that. But there are some like Sundays and Saturday with the your code doesn't take it. So sometime you need to do the another loop, another exceptional handling, then we can move forward to it. So that's why I'm asking like how far you want, or like how back you want.
Um, Realistically, at least 5 years, no?
Yeah, then we can
At
test
least.
the model and yeah, get it. Okay.
Will you be able to get 5 years from scraping? I doubt it, no?
No, we have not scraping. We have to do an API, or we have to find a paid server or something like that, because it's
Yeah.
5 years. At last, even for web scraping, as far as I can see, 1 year, hardly. And that's a pure data.
Yeah, we need some kind of API. Hmm. Okay, but then see the algorithm
Yeah.
for fetching the right thing. If we can get that perfected, then when the time comes, we can just swap out the API for a higher end API.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then maybe instead of like, I think we need to have some kind of quantitative measure for how good the algorithm is. Because we don't know right now, right, how good it is, first of all. And we can't able to track whether it should be improved, whether it's good enough. And if we
Okay.
do improve it, we have no idea how much it needs to be improved. So I think the first thing we need to do is get some kind of quantitative measure on how good it is, how many false positives, or whatever metrics people would use, the appropriate metrics in this circumstance. I think that's the first thing we would do. Because we're guessing that there's a problem with the API. We actually don't even know if there's a problem with the API. It could be a problem with the algorithm.
Okay.
So then with that, regarding being able to rate the algorithm, to innately do that, essentially what we have mostly right now is just it giving us a sentiment score based on whatever it's reading right now, and then seeing, okay, how strong correlated or how strong we think it is based upon that. So then I guess going off of that, how can we then test that to see how good is it really doing or how does it really compare? Like, is this something that we're gonna have to like, okay, we might have to manually look up on a certain day and then say, hey, I get all these articles. I actually research what gone on that day, and then say, all right, this article I'd say would be like so okay or whatever, and then like read based on that, kind of like manually doing it and then manually tweaking it from there, or is there something more quantitatively that we can do?
Yeah, that's the right question to ask. I don't know the answer. I would do it manually because I don't know anything else. But maybe
Exactly.
professionals would know or
That's the only
what.
fear of that is like I'd have to do it, a bunch of different test points manually.
Yeah. How to measure it is something I don't know. How do you measure an algorithm's effectiveness? Yeah. I think that's the first thing to do. Once we can say, okay, the algorithm is good, then we
Yeah.
can focus on just, the output, which is the front end, and then swap out the API if the algorithm is good and the results still aren't good.
Yeah,
Because you have to, what?
the only thing is like right now is like okay, it'd be fine if we just test like 1 point or like obviously probably multiple points, but then making sure that maybe it doesn't overfit with just recent news articles, which is all we have right now because we're only still looking at the last 30 days. So then how do we make sure that okay, going forward from this, maybe it's gonna overfit too much of what's gonna be recently. Be it this is just me thinking a bit too ahead, but
Yeah, no, makes sense.
And
Um, I think you have to also because see, there's two parts of it. One is the algorithm picking the right articles from the API? And is the API, you also separately have to test, is the API getting good articles?
Yeah.
So for that one, someday you'll have to do a filter on Google News for that day and see if Google News has better articles. So there's two testings, one for the API and one for the algorithm. The one for the algorithm, I guess, is more important.
The algorithm is our algorithm is working fine, like how it's supposed to. That's what you're trying to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
So 30 years, like 30 months data, 30 days data, and then we have to need more data to see like what's the variance we are
Yeah,
getting
it
from
works
30.
historically, no? So, well, first of all, you have to get it to work again.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
then you just
Yeah.
pick any date. You
Okay.
just pick any date, and then you see, okay, what were the articles that existed on that date?
Okay.
You pick the good ones. And I don't know how you'll measure it quantitatively. And the second thing is then you look at, okay, what are articles it did have access to, and say, were they better articles? Was the relevant thing even there? Because let's say whatever, Apple stock moved 10% on Feb 11th or whatever. And then it fell 10% because, I don't know, something went wrong with some factory. Was there an article in our list which which captured that something happened with the factory? Or
Okay.
was that article not even there? So those are the two problems. And if it was there, then it's the algorithm's job to pick that out. So that's the thing. There's two different levels here.
Okay. I understand now.
And I think those two are the right things. Because you already have a functioning product, you just need to make it better or more reliable. And if investing in the newest thing is what we need, that's possible to do. But I just need to make sure that's the problem. We have to know quantitatively, like actually say, yeah, this is the problem.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree. Trying to get those tested out to see what we can do better with the algorithms and actually test it to see how good are we getting it. That's definitely going to be very important. And then just getting to make sure and also to run the site properly right now, just so we can get historical data and then go from there.
Mhm. Yeah, makes sense. All right. Coolio. Anything else?
So now, no.
That's pretty much it that I have for updates right now. Yeah.
Okay, cool. You guys in campus or somewhere else?
No, we're not on campus. Campus is we're getting on campus in the end of August.
Yeah, no.
It's
Okay.
just that Oliver is graduating in December, right?
Yep.
So technically, he needs to start interviewing now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you need to start anything
And,
the day you get there.
and Prakar's got time, but he doesn't have any time. He needs to get through because you're graduating next year, Prakar, right?
In December
Yeah.
next.
So you need international student needs a lot more time because you have to get used to, you have to network, right? Have you networking with anyone in the US
Yeah.
yet?
Yeah, I have started talking to the Lehigh alumni.
Yes.
Yeah, who are working like in big companies as well as small companies. So, and who are currently doing internship and coming back in fall, uh, in the fall semester. So I'm in talking terms with them, and I'm also going to see next month Anameta, with progress. So
Yes, you need to, she knows a lot of people. It takes a while to network, but then it's worth it,
yeah,
because that's what the jobs are really. I mean, resumes is,
yeah.
with AI, it's just ridiculous. I mean,
I'm just tailoring my resume for each and jobs prospect. Like
yeah, but I wouldn't rely on the resume. Well, it's good to show the resume, to a network, yes. But the resume to send the resume out with
yeah,
the other 5, 10,000 resumes that people send to the same jobs is just
yeah, I understand that. Perfect.
unless you have to optimize your resume, but it's too much work. I mean, you should do it. You have nothing to lose, but don't just do that because that's impossible.
Have you seen where the previous graduating class is working now?
40% of them have jobs already, almost 50%. So I would say that out of the people that have found jobs, one is actually in a trading firm. I'm talking about this May session here. One ended up at in a blockchain firm. And these are all international students I'm talking about right now. One US student has got a job at a quant firm. Another one got a job over at Deloitte. Trading, Deloitte, a blockchain, quant researcher, and whole loans. So I would say that it's still very broad. I'm trying to focus more on the trading. So I got two of them on the trading side, actual quant researcher or trading. I still have students, getting around. I mean, you get jobs, but I will say one thing: out of those students that got jobs, one and two got jobs directly from our MFE network, like people like you, basically, right? I say, hey, you have a job? Yeah, sure, and the others through networking. 1, 2, 3, and one I think applied. That's the hard way, but he got the job. So that's always possible, but again, it's a minority, very small. But I will tell you, all of these firms are all small firms. There's no Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, none of that stuff. I mean, apart from Deloitte, you wouldn't even know these other firms, which is a strategy that we want to do. We want to go after small companies because you get to, well, they get to talk to you, quite frankly. Otherwise, it's very difficult to, and I have actually international students that they say, I'm getting there. Then they see I'm an international student. They say, well, what's going to happen? Are you going to remove your visa? So there's that additional uncertainty. But
That's the
hey,
main thing.
people are getting jobs.
The
And
market's still strong, so
yeah, but I will tell you, I got, I think one of the salary is, is high 100s,
Mm.
almost 200s. So it's
that's
possible.
really good.
Yeah, it is good. But I mean, but then again, that student worked on 3 projects. In fact, he worked on projects before he joined the program. And then he worked on another one and another one. I mean, LLM, rating, I mean, lots of different projects. So then obviously that's what he was mostly focused on. The way Prakash is doing now, ahead of his capstone, and the way Oliver is doing after his capstone. Because otherwise you have nothing to say. I mean, what are you going to tell? You got a 3.2 GPA, 3.8 GPA, and then what? And I will tell you, when I look at these jobs and the GPA that these students have, there is no correlation between the GPA and the money they got.
Projects?
It's the way you're able to network, projects, and your ability to communicate, right? If you can't talk, you can't explain, you can't really sound exciting about what you're doing, then in fact, I posted something on LinkedIn where you could see all of the skills that they had a huge survey that was done recently. Number 1 skills is ability to get things done, ability to your ability to communicate, and then number 6 or 7, it's your AI skills, your technical skills, but the top skills,
All soft.
they want all soft skills. And unfortunately, we don't teach that.
No,
You
but
didn't
there
take
are
a
other
course in
courses
soft
related
skills.
to that.
What?
There are other courses, public speaking and all that at Lehigh.
Yeah,
In
but
order to
but it's not part of the curriculum.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
exactly master's level material
Yeah,
that you're going
I
into.
would say that like I'm taking a class with Professor Zor right now in summer, and the class interaction helped me open up, like express your thoughts rather than hesitating. Like it helps
Correct.
us to like analyze. It helps us to like express our thoughts and brainstorm every time, like before saying it. And it's also not like we would say wrong or right. It's about like how you're analyzing it and saying it out.
Correct. But unfortunately, most courses are really,
Yeah,
they are mostly lectures,
all of them.
which is very deadly, because now you're just learning how, but
Massively, yeah.
yeah, can you take it and
More
sell it to someone
application.
else? I guess if you say, well, I'm from Harvard, I got 4.0 GPA, I must be smart. Okay, well, let's see, and I think this environment is changing a lot, very fast. So students have to be prepared, especially international students. But even the U.S. students also, I mean, they're still going to face the same issue. Because if you can't express an idea, you can't talk about anything. I mean, you might have a green card or a U.S. citizenship, but they're still not going to take you because you can express an idea. But that we don't teach how to do that, unless you take those courses. And they are available at Lehigh, but I don't think it's always well known anyway. Thanks, Aman.
Yeah, thanks, Professor. What are you teaching
Thank you.
now? Which courses?
What?
Which courses are you teaching now?
Well, the one that you went through,
Same one. Fin 328 or something like that. I remember.
324, yes.
No, almost. Okay.
It's not, it's changed, actually. It's not called 324 anymore. They changed it.
Or to
Or what?
It's changed. It changes every year because I can't
Oh,
trust.
okay, it changes. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. No, it's changed completely from what you got. Now
That's good to know.
I spend a lot more time interacting with the students rather than lecturing. I lecture maybe 30 minutes and say, okay, let's get into projects. Okay, what are you working on? Talk to me, explain to me what you're thinking. And that's when I realize, wow, they don't really know what's going on. They're listening, they say yes. I say, okay, like who's this company competing with? Well, they're competing with other companies. So you're saying they're competing with their competitors? Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. That's good to know. But now I meant, who are the competitors? No, literally. So I need to make sure that, okay, let's talk about this, because obviously you're missing the picture.
That's true. I saw the book the other day in my bookshelf. That's why I remember.
Yeah.
It's a good book.
It's an excellent book.
All right. See you, Professor. See you guys.
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Thank you, Aman.
Bye, guys.
Hey, Oliver.
Yep.
There's someone else supposed to be in this group called, his name is,
What's the name? I think I may have reached out to him. Let me see.
yes,
I remember you
added
sent me an
him.
email.
I don't think he doesn't, I think he figured, yes, there is a call. Yes, I was invited, but I'm not so sure if he understands or realize what needs to happen.
I think it's Yang.
No, he's out.
Oh, he's out. Okay.
No, I'm talking about, he's in the invite.
Who is that?
Let me take a look. Invite.
What's his name?
I'm looking at the list, Professor. You sent.
Arvinder Singh.
I don't think I've heard anything from him.
Yeah, we need to reach out to him.
I can
Prakash,
try and send an email to him.
yeah, can you guys send out to him and say, okay, you need to come to the meeting? I mean,
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, I can send an email to him.
and Prakash, reach out to him as well, and Yon as well.
Yeah.
He's in India.
Oh, okay. I will.
Oh,
Yeah, and he's a little, I think he doesn't understand. He says, but this class hasn't started. What are we talking? I don't think he's up to speed yet. He's invited. Oh,
Okay.
hi, Jose.
Hello, Patrick. Hello,
Prince is
everybody.
back. Very nice.
Hi, Jose.
Hello, Praka. Hello, everybody. Hello, Prince.
Hi, Yossi.
Hello. So please tell me, how can I help you today?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so for me, I have some basic question that I'm trying to understand. So I believe you help me understand it well.
Mhm.
In pre-processing of data, at times you may have mixing the data, and you would have to use techniques to get them covered. And one of them is imputation. So I want to understand, during imputation process, why is it that we fit transform that of the training data, but then for the test data, we only transform it? I want to understand the concept behind it.
Wait a second. So first, for the training data, say we fit, and then for the test data, we transform. That's what you're asking?
If you look at the method used, is fit, transform, but then
Oh, okay,
that of the testing data is only transform. So I wanted to understand the reason. Is there any reason for using two different methods for both the training and that of the testing?
Yeah. So it is just a different method. The reason is that you cannot fit. I mean, do you understand the difference between fit and transform first? Do you
Okay.
understand the difference?
So
So
okay.
first fit is about, for example, when you do this preprocessing with the min max scalar, or the z-score, for example, the z-score, you have for each row, you get the row value, then you get the mean of the whole series,
Okay.
of the whole time series, and then you get the standard deviation of the whole time series. And then for each row, you use the row value, you subtract the mean value, and then you divide the result by the standard deviation. Okay, so whenever you if you were to use the whole train and test data to fit transform, actually, I don't know how to explain this. So if you use, how could I explain to you? Let me put it in the chat, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So in live trading, you have train data and test data. Suppose you are at 10 a.m. Okay,
Okay.
you use your train data that is from 2000 to 2025, July 11, 10 a.m. Okay,
Okay.
your test data, I'm sorry, it will be up to 9 a.m. It is trading frequency is hourly. Okay, then your test data will be 9 a.m. I'm sorry, 10 a.m.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
so you have, so you need to z-score your input features in your test data, in your train data, I'm sorry, your train and test data. Okay,
Okay.
so then then you need to use the mean and standard deviation of the train data to transform to z-score the input features, right?
Okay.
Yeah, do you get it?
Yes, I get it.
Okay, cool. So, you cannot use the test data information to get the mean and standard deviation to transform the test data
Okay.
and the train data.
So is it the case that once you use the
Because, wait a second, because
okay,
if you use the test data information to get the z-score, mean, and standard deviation, you will commit look-ahead bias.
okay,
Because you were going to use future information.
yes, I get it.
If you apply fit transform to the whole data to train and test data, actually you will commit look-ahead bias because it is like you will use future information to fit something, and then you will left trade with the trace data. So this is wrong.
Okay, okay, I
Yeah.
get it. So what to confirm something again. So once you use the training data and the computation is done to get the mean and the standard deviation to do the z-score, the model will keep that in mind so that any other data that will be provided to it as a testing data, it will use that same z-score to do the imputation, if I get it right.
Yeah, so it's about in algorithmic trading, you should be very careful of not using future information to fit something.
Sure.
Yeah, so in this case, you shouldn't use I mean um, so suppose you fit a random forest, okay?
Okay.
You fit a random forest. It's like the following. You fit a random forest with train and test data. Okay?
Okay.
And then you evaluate your model performance with the test data. Is this okay?
Yes.
No,
No,
actually it's not.
okay.
Why? Because you have used test data to fit the model.
Okay.
Do you see?
Yes, I get it.
So this is wrong. Actually, you need to fit your
Okay.
random forest model only with the trained data and then see its performance with the test data. So it will be like, in order to make an analogy, you fit transform your random forest model with trained data and you transform with the test data.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Yes, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But remember, it's not that a random forest model you will fit transform. This is something for pre-processing, okay?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's the difference.
Jose,
Yes, please, Prakar.
I have I have done with the server, building a server and completing it. But I was discovering about the algorithm and So there's some minor pointers that I want to like have a question on them, like that the algorithm that we have, a model I have made a point out of it, like overlifting of or history. A model might perform well in backtest, but fail in live trading due to market noise or changes.
Mm,
It's,
yeah.
it's right? Like what our model can perform well with us, but when we launch perform it with the live market, it can show some variance. Or
Yes, that's right. Yes,
oh,
that's right. Yes, so whenever you fit a model in the with the train data,
yeah,
actually you shouldn't fit it precisely for each row, for each row value. Actually, you need to have some variance in the train data with your model in order to capture the standard deviation of the pattern that you find in the model in the data. So this will allow that if you don't fit you, I mean, suppose that you can fit and find a pattern from 0 to 100%.
okay,
If you find a pattern like 80% of the data, actually this will, or 60% for example, or 51 depending on the hit ratio, for example, if your hit ratio is, for example, 52, for example, then in your test data you will see some good performance. But if you try to have a hit ratio of 100%, for example, in your train data, you will see less than 50% in the hit ratio for your test data. This is more or less the explanation. So actually, whenever you fit your model, for example, the random forest model, you shouldn't make it with 1,000 estimators for 8,000 data points, for example. You shouldn't use too much estimators. You can just use like 20 estimators or 10 estimators or 5 estimators. Uh, you, you shouldn't make you shouldn't make your model too complex. I
okay,
mean, there are some explanations. Usually in econometrics, econometricians said that you should have a parsimonious model. That means you should have the least number of estimators as long as it provides good fit. However, with large language models, these artificial intelligence engineers said that actually you need as many parameters as possible to fit your data and then provide um, performance in the test data. So this is a new paradigm, but actually in machine learning, it's not so simple to use as many parameters as possible.
yeah,
That's not, and in case you, for example, you have 1 million data points, then you can have maybe 500 estimators for your random forest, But in case you only have daily data with 8,000 data points, it's not that you're going to use 1,000 estimators, for
yeah,
your random forest. You have to balance the number of data points with your random forest model parameters in this case.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jose.
Thanks to you. Is there any other question?
No, as for now, like I have only that, and thank you very much, Jose.
No, thanks to you. Whenever you have questions throughout the week, please let me know.
Yeah, I just try to like work on the data and also rate some algorithm. Like my main focus on like we can integrate too much thing in our algorithm, but at last we need to test it with a large sum of data.
Yes,
Oh,
you should always have test data whenever
yeah,
you could have also train validation data and
yeah.
test data,
So
but you should always have test data to see the performance of the model.
yeah, so that's what I'm focusing. Like my integrating, it's okay. Even I'm looking for new things that can give us like much more positive effect or positive side. But once we have a data, then we have something like, yeah, this is the turning point, or this is a point that we need to look upon or work on that thing. Then we can assign to it.
Yeah, and don't forget that whenever you test the performance of the strategy,
Yes.
it's not so good to use machine learning metrics like, for example, the accuracy score or something like that. Actually, it's better to use financial performance metrics such as Sharpe ratio, sorting ratio, Kalman ratio, drawdown, top 5 drawdown, and something like that. So it's better to use financial performance metrics.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jose.
Hello, Professor. You said something?
No, I'm saying goodbye to Jose. Are you done, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I think from our end we are only two. So
Okay. Because I think one of the students could make it today. She's traveling back to the US.
yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. You see.
Thanks, Jose.
Thank you,
Are
Jose.
you on campus, Prince?
Professor,
Are
I didn't get
are
you.
you on campus?
Yes, I'm on campus.
And Praka, are you on campus also?
Yeah, I'm beside, like behind Farrington, like FML.
I'm gonna see if we could maybe with as students are coming in, we'll take them out to lunch.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
So
Sure.
you could explain to the same way I did with you, so you could explain to them, you know, what to expect. They
Okay.
should be arriving August 1st. So
Oliver will be here as well from August as well.
excellent. Because I have students from India, from Africa coming in.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to make sure you explain to them, you know, now before they go in and they do all these things.
My apologies, Patrick.
Yes, Jose.
I have a problem with my computer, so sometimes it shuts down randomly.
Oh my God, that's okay. Well, we're done anyway, so
Okay.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Jose.
Thanks, Prince. Thanks,
Thank you.
Prakar. Thank you, Patrick. See you then.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 Hi, Prince. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Okay.
Yep.
Hope you were too.
What I have built a server for this project. So
Okay.
like I said on the first semester that I will build a server for this project. So I have built a server for the data retrieval. But the thing
Okay.
is, I'm able to download the data as well.
Okay.
I,
That's good.
I couldn't download last year, May
Oh, okay.
and November as well. Other than that, I got everything.
Oh, okay.
So
That is good. I think that is a good start. Maybe we can look at it and improve on it.
Yeah.
To
So
see.
that's what I'm looking up to because look, here's my thought. We can put many things in our algorithm until unless we have good data and see like
Data.
where our algorithm is moving, where's the turning point,
Yeah.
how it's performing good or not. Like Jose said, like we need to test simultaneously. Like even if we
Yeah.
built a software, like let's see if I'm building a software for library to searching a book or something. I have to run parallelly the test as well. Like, yeah, the website is doing okay, or the app is doing okay. If I'm searching the backend, the backend is also doing integration testing, black box testing. So that's why I thought like, yeah, everyone is integrating new things in algorithm, and they are really good. They're perfect, I'm saying, but I
Yeah.
should the data and try to connect it more and more refinedly.
Okay.
What courses are you taking in fall?
I'm taking advanced financial management, which you did last semester. I think you did it, right?
With GBUS 424
Yeah, I think that is it for tomorrow.
with Professor Haibi Zaho.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a great professor, believe me. He's a really great professor. You will
Oh,
learn
okay.
a lot in that class, a lot.
Okay. And I think stochastic calculus and the last is Professor Zero's course. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm taking all technical courses this year.
Ah,
Block. I'm taking all technical courses.
oh, okay.
So optimization, machine learning, blockchain.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I just want to feel like back in my technical things because you know how we like happens sometimes because it's
Optimization to the professor is very good.
yeah.
Yes.
And if you have some notes or something regarding optimization, can you send it to me? Like I can have a good head start.
Yeah, I can give you his for him, he gives you his lecture note and I think that of his hand notes.
Okay. That's
Yeah, so I'll look for it and send it to you.
yeah, that would be really great.
Yeah, that is once you solve the questions in there, and he will also give you some practice questions.
Okay.
Those are also very good, so you have to look out
That's
for
fine.
them.
Yeah, I will do it.
Sure.
So are you still on the same house that I saw in?
No,
Sorry.
no, 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 no. I've moved out long ago. I was moving out when he came there.
Okay. I didn't came there for myself. Like I came there for my friend who was sick.
Oh, okay. All right.
So what happened? You didn't like the house or just changed
I
for
I didn't like it from the very first moment that I entered, but then I paid before coming here, so I had no option. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know, dude. Like I also moved out. Now I'm near Farrington, like FML, you know?
Yeah, yeah, you mentioned.
Yeah, I'm right here.
So
So that day I saw you in a car. That's you're driving. Like that's your car.
no, it's for a friend.
Okay.
It's for a friend.
That's really good. Like I was gonna say like it's a cool car, but I was really in a hurry. So
It's for a friend. I was using it that day. Yeah.
yeah. And I guess Ricky has dropped financial engineering
Yeah,
course.
that is what he said. He said he won't be joining the program in fall, so
Did he say anything or just he dropped the class?
I don't know. Maybe Professor Zuru may know his reason. I don't know.
I knew like last time like he was traveling from he was in Japan.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know after that.
Maybe it has to do with his visa process, you know.
Oh, he
Then
is
like
I guess.
yeah.
I guess he is American. I don't know.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Then he may not have issues. I don't know why.
God, Ricky did his undergraduation in physics in from Cornell University.
Oh, okay. Cornell?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and that's too in physics. So, you
Yeah.
know, physicists and mathematician get hired more in financial institute rather than any finance people.
Yes.
The
That
more you are physics oriented and the more so I was discussing this thing with Stefano's day before yesterday about regarding the physics and I love physics. For me, physics is everything. So it's like undying thing for me, like physics, solving physics. So I still have like some physics equation. So I was training some like talking to one of the physics professor. I've talked to him. Like, do you know about quantum mechanics? Something?
yeah. You know, I did it. I did a bit of it during my undergraduate when I was doing yeah, I did a lot of it. A
Uh,
bit of it in my third year, but you know, I didn't
So we had a program called computer science engineering, plus focusing on electives on engineering physics. So I
yeah.
took quantum science technology in that rather than
Oh, okay.
optimizations. So there is called quantum mechanics. But now if I see in the finance world, like HFT, high frequency trading or quant companies, they use quantum mechanics like for advanced pricing models and probabilistic interpretation. They
Oh, okay.
build theory for modeling interest rate curves and continuous. So what they are doing is using the physical like physics uh, derivation or like the outputs or like the equation or the theory, making a assumption out of it, not an assumption, like a complete proof to it, and plotting those things in finance thing.
Okay.
So you can't compete with that. That's pure physics, dude. That's
Yeah.
pure physics, and that's the beauty of it.
That is true.
So I'm also looking up to it, like how much deep I can talk to someone, like to have a grasp on those things. So
You'll get someone. You'll get someone. Once you are eager to learn about it, you'll get someone to assist you.
oh, my mom is a theoretical physicist.
Oh, okay. I get it now. Sure. All right. So I think that is it. So I don't have any other call. I'll be attending to something for now. Thank you.
Hello.
Morning, Estevanos. How are you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Good.
Oh.
So, what are we doing? Is Tanya going to present? Think.
Yes, I don't see Tanya in the meeting today. But that was the plan.
Text her.
But let me just okay. Until she comes, maybe we can give you like update on
New
just the
stuff. Yeah.
prices. Okay. So I specifically worked on the histogram for the volatility, right? And we wanted to make sure that the mean and standard
Oh,
deviation
yeah.
on the plots reflected the log of the vol. And then on legend, we wanted to make sure it's the transformation of the log. So just made that change. And and then Ningguan worked on the other plots, so maybe he can share that part. So this is the Rogers and Sachs 120 minutes from 2020 to 2022.
Yeah.
And this is what the plots look like. I also updated the title so that it's
Yeah, that makes sense.
aligns. And I also added the number of volatility observations.
Fantastic. So, let's have a look. Can it fit on one screen? I only see half of it. Okay. Guess that's all right. So, okay, so we've got 5,600 observations. These are the vols. The mean, I mean, all right, that looks like the mean of the logs, doesn't it? And then that looks like the still, it's obviously symmetric. I mean, it looks like you got it right. And so the mean is a vol of 5.4. Up one standard deviation is 9.7. Down one standard deviation is 3 because we are on a log scale. Very good. Number of turns. And then, so where you've got STD in this legend, that means log of vols, does it? Must do.
No, STD is the transformation of the log vol. So it's e to the power of my log vault.
Oh, so it's a vol? STD is a vol?
Yes, the standard deviation of the vault.
So that's totally different to the standard, the red lines, right?
Yes, and the red
I
lines
see.
are the log of
Yeah, gotcha. What about the skew and kurtosis? Are they the skew and kurtosis of this distribution or the vol distribution?
of this distribution. It's the log. That should be on the log scale.
So the skew and kurtosis are not consistent with STD in that upper left legend. Is that what you're saying? The skew and kurtosis are consistent with the standard dev in the right legend, meaning that it's you're doing the analysis on the log plot.
Let me just. Yeah. So I can make that adjustment.
It's all right. It's all right. Go back to the graph. So what I'd recommend then is hold on. You sure? I think that is the standard dev of this distribution, right? I think it is. Because you've got the mean there, 5.45 minus 1.78. It's 3.67, which looks like the number on that graph.
No,
Right?
the standard deviation is the transformation. I'm sure about that one. This STD is the
Oh, yeah, you know what?
e
Maybe
to the
you're
power
right.
of log.
You might be right. You might be right. And then seven, 7.23. Yes, you are right. And look, if I take 5.45 and add 1.78, I get something here. Sorry, you can't see my cursor. But you get something that isn't the red line on the upside. So you're right. That is actually this STD in the upper left legend is on the actual vol, isn't it?
Yes.
So get rid of that because we only want to do it one way in a presentation. Otherwise, you end up going down a rabbit hole trying to explain things, right? So just get rid of that. All right, very good. Hi, Tanya.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm a bit late.
So go on, Estefanos. Do you want to finish up?
But yeah, that was
That's
about
good.
it.
Great. Yeah, Ningguang did something. What was that?
Hey Rob, and
Hey.
I just revised some plots.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so you know what? And is it gonna Tanya, do you want to do this quick run through the presentation? I'd love it if you do.
Okay.
Give it a shot. And is she gonna have the things you've added, Ningguang, or is that
Yeah, from my understanding, probably we can schedule another time to make it a little bit of formal presentation. We use the slides. Do you think it is
okay.
necessary? So
Yeah,
I just
you know what?
I
Look,
just shoot.
don't worry. Let's not get too formal about this. I mean, let's just do, let's just go for it. Give it a run through. Tanya, go on. Give us a just give me what you have so I can just get you, we can get going and yeah. Just give it a shot, Tanya. All right.
Okay. All right. Estefanos, can you start from the plot of the close?
Is it, are you talking about the Euro
Yeah,
USD price?
yes, that just shows the close to close plotting.
Okay. Ningguan, do you have that, or should I share the screen?
I need to rerun
Do you know
it
what, Estefanos,
to-
run,
to-
why don't you run your one, Estefanos? Because that's the one I'm used to as well. And I
Okay.
can help you. I'll be most familiar myself.
This graph you wanted, Tanya?
It's just the plot that just shows the distribution of the close to close prices. I think it's
Okay.
like slightly at the top. The one of the first few graphs, yes,
There.
that one.
Perfect.
right.
Start there. Perfect.
Thank you. All right. So we're going to be analyzing the Euro USD FX rate, and we've got 1 minute data for approximately 20 years. So we plotted the Euro USD close price over time from, well, this one is showing from 2020 to 2022, but our data is from 2000 to 2022. And so in our analysis, we're essentially trying to analyze if it's better to look at realized volatility than the standard way of looking at things, which is looking at the pricing that is usually done by all the algorithmic traders. So instead of looking at how price changes over time, we are instead looking at how volatility of that price changes over time. So we will proceed to measure volatility using standard formula. And in this case, we've been using the Rogers-Satchel method, well, which just shows the standard calculation of volatility. And in this case, we want to use at least 100 data points. So we've split our data into 120 minutes, which is essentially 2 hours since our data is in minutes. And for the data which we have categorized as valid for our observation, we're using at least 108 points, which is 90% of our data. And this is essentially because, well, using anything below that, like as we observe from this plot, the zeros essentially like basically indicate weekends or missing information. And somewhere around 60 means we have half the data we need for there to be a complete 120-minute trailing volatility. So disregarding the rest of the times that are below that 120 or below the 108, which is like more than 90% of our data, is essentially to try and eliminate the risk of unstable volatility and over time, and also to avoid getting caught out by perfect normal returns. So in this case, we try to predict the actual observed value of the volatility using the simple method of analyzing the previous four. This is the standard way of looking at things, like by observing historical prices, can we essentially tell the next few prices? So I think the next graph essentially shows the plots for all our valid data, which is the realized volatility against time, and also showing like the valid points that are utilized in our observation. And then the next plot, which shows the frequency of the distributions of the realized volatility, and we can observe like our mean is centrally like 5.4. And in this case, as we said, we're trying to predict the actual observed using the volatility. So I'm pretty sure the next plot shows the autocorrelation of our data. So in this case, we can see, since there's autocorrelation between the two, essentially the last minute tries to predict the next minute volatility, right? So essentially what we're trying to do in this project from this point onwards has just been trying to understand our data and how like our data is behaving and if it is stable enough to predict the next minute. So far up to this point, we've looked at how effectively we can predict our data, if there are any duplicates, if there are any missing values, and if there are such things as like which points are valid in the 120-minute interval that we're looking at. And then from this point onwards, now our project officially starts because we're now trying to see how stable that is. Like, yes, we've noticed how our data, how many points we have, how many are valid, but now we're actually wanting to see if it's stable enough to do the prediction. So that's the next graph we plot. So in our project, we're essentially trying to see if, okay, we've seen that there's autocorrelation between the actual and the predicted, but now we want to see if that is stable and if there are no essential movements or wiggles in our data. And we can see that by testing, by doing a series of stability checks in our data. So, yeah. Okay.
Remember that these are, if you go back to the one graph above, Stefanos, these are plots of the error. Okay. So the error is big, right? I mean, if it was actually percentage error, it'd be like more than 100%. It's obviously not that. It's the log version of it. It just means the error is very big. And what it's saying is that when you go from 120-minute period to the next 120-minute period, right? The ratio of the log of the ratio of those two things, which is a measure of the size of the error, it's a big variance. Okay. But you know, it looks kind of pretty stable. You know, it's hinting that we might be able to get away with this, right? That's what it's saying. And the reason we split it into blue and yellow is that if you're doing current 2-hour period divided by previous 2-hour period, you want to look at every other 4 hours, every other 2 hours, right? You want to look at 4-hour blocks because you've got this 2-hour divided by the previous 2-hour. So you want them all to be independent. So that's why we split it into 2, blue and yellow. All right. So this is just a look at the actual error. So go on, carry on. What's the next plot? Okay. So this was just the distribution, Tanya, right?
Yes.
Right. So it shows that.
So this shows the distribution between, well, the log of the realized volatility and versus the log of like the predicted volatility.
The log of the ratio, which is the error.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Next one.
And then I think the next one is when we do the stability checks by looking at the mean of the ratio, the standard deviation of the ratio, the skewness of the ratio,
Exactly.
and the kurtosis.
So if you just look at the yellow one, Stefanos. So look, that describes, so we've broken it down into, I believe, 720-minute, correct me if I'm wrong here, 14-day periods, right? So that we've got about 100 vols in that period, right? Or we've got 100 errors in that period, right? And so we actually measure in the period the standard D, right, exactly, the standard dev of that distribution. Standard dev of the errors. Okay. And so here's the conclusion, is that the yellow plot shows that the during the 2-year period, it's obviously a subset of the data, 2-year period, we've got these various 28-day periods, and that the error is something like 45%. Okay, because the log of vol over vol prediction is roughly the size of the error, percentage error, right? And so it's basic. Once you're below 1, you can just talk about percentages. So basically, it's saying the error is something like 45%. And that means that if your vol is 5 in 1 2-hour period, in the next period, we're pretty confident that it's going to be 5 plus or minus 45%. Okay? Now, obviously, that's not very predictive, is it? Right? But if it's stable, which it apparently appears to be, because it's, all these 28-day, 100 vol periods were around about 40 to 50%. That's pretty stable, right? And so if it's that stable, then we would actually expect the mean, the error in the mean to be much smaller, right? Because, if you have a distribution with standard dev 1, then when you make n measurements to average it to try and estimate the mean of the distribution, the error in your measurement of the mean is 1 over root n, right? So if you've got 100, you've got a 10% error, right? And in fact, in standard dev, it's actually 1 over 2n all square root. So it's a little bit smaller. It's actually a bit better. And so we'd expect the mean to have a much smaller deviation, right? And the best you could hope for would be, let's call this 45. The standard dev has an error of 45%, right? Divided by the square root of 100 or 200, it should be 15 times smaller. And so we think the error should be about 3% for completely stable normal distribution, which this is not, right? And so when we look at the mean, it's pretty good, right? And that's a very powerful result, that in fact the mean is quite stable, right? So what does that mean? It means that in any 2-hour period, you predict the next 2-hour period, you've got a 45% error. But if you do it over 100 times, you're going to get down to a 4% error. So, right, this is statistical arbitrage we're talking about. And so it means that we can predict the vol, right? It's the current vol, right? And it comes in at, and that's pretty surprising, really, right? So it's not surprising for a perfect log normal stochastic process, but it is surprising for the Euro USD FX rate. All right. So that's it. That's the conclusion. All right. Good. Okay, guys. Great. That's actually pretty good, Tanya. Good first stab. Well done. So we'll leave it there, okay? Right, Estefanos?
Yeah,
And
I
then
think it's
we'll forge ahead at the next meeting, okay? On Wednesday. See you then. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you,
Thank
Rob.
you,
Thank you.
Estefanos.
Thanks,
you,
Ingrid.
everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Tanya. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, Professor. Hi, Stefanos.
Hey, Sai, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm alright. Thanks for asking.
I think I would love to join this project. I'm not sure what is the procedure, but
Yeah, that would be nice. We'd love to have you. We talked the other day. I think you would have to let Professor Zoro know.
Mhm.
From my end, I think you'd be a good addition. And then, everything else, it's things that you have to catch up on. I'll kind of like guide you on that part. I'll introduce you to the sponsor once Professor Zoro like gives you the green light.
Sure, that works.
Just let me know once you've talked to him, and then send me a message. I can add you to the group chats. I can also add you, like we have a meeting with Rob on Wednesday, so I can
Okay.
introduce you to him then. Um, so I think there might be a time conflict. What is like the time uh in India now?
It's 7:30 in the evening.
Oh, I see. So what time is 7 p.m. here at your time, on your time?
So you're asking your 7 p.m.?
Yeah, because we usually meet up
I
at 7 p.m. Wednesdays.
let me check right away. So for you, 7 p.m. is damn, it's 4:30 a.m. for me.
Mm. Okay, it's fine. I can let me see if I can.
No, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I want to be part of this. That's okay.
You know
I'll
what?
keep
It's
an
fine.
alarm and I'll wake up.
Because I record. No, you don't have to wake up. Because I'll record the meetings, I'll just send it over to you so that you can see. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me, or you can ask Rob on the Friday calls.
Sure, but that's absolutely okay. I mean, it's just for one day, right? I would
No,
love to
no,
wake it up,
it's
and I
we do
wanted to
that
be a
like
part of the discussion.
I feel like so we meet up on Wednesdays every other 2 weeks
Okay.
or every other week.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's twice a month, right? I guess. I mean, absolutely okay.
okay. Yeah, so I'll send you the link for this Wednesday, and then
Works.
we'll go from there. Yeah, I'm happy you're joining. I hope
Yeah,
you
I
find
mean,
it useful.
yeah, I mean, in a just a crisp detail, I think we just have 2 minutes for the next project. What are we exactly doing now? So we are trying to derive all the parameters. We are pulling out the graphs and all from the Euro USD data. But what are we exactly predicting? Are we predicting the next day volatility or next 2 hours volatility?
Yeah, so basically what you saw right now, the presentation, was all like the stability checks and all that. It's
Okay.
more of like, okay, we have the previous minutes volatility.
Okay.
How much predictable is the previous minutes volatility, right? And we're using like different plots to kind of describe that. For example, the last few plots that you saw, like the yellow, the
Mhm.
standard deviation and all that. So
Yeah.
that basically is saying like if you were to predict the next period volatility using the past period volatility, the error for that statistically, right? We gathered the data, we did statistics on the data, and this is like a large amount of data that we collected, and statistically, the error is about 45%, the standard deviation. So you know that if the vol is 10% right now,
Mhm.
just giving you an assumption, if it's
Okay.
10%, the next period volatility is either going to be 45% above or below that 10%. So it would be like it would be in the range of 15 to 5%, from 5 to 15. That's big. That's not like it's not accurate, but it kind of narrows down um your expectations when predicting it. But basically, this is like we set up the tool to do that. And for example, let's say we go ahead in this project and we start predicting models. We start using models to predict volatility, right?
Mhm.
Instead of using the predicted volatility, now we would instead use the model or the predicted volatility that we used. Instead of using the past period volatility, we'd use the predicted volatility that we would build, right? Like the model that we use. So now you're comparing your model's predicted volatility with the actual volatility. And now you can be like, okay, our model within this time period has this error, right? And now you can be like, we are 90% sure over this period of time, we've been able to predict the volatility with this error, right? That could be 10% or it could be 5%. That gives you like
Mhm.
how stable is your predictions. But anyway, I think
Got it.
the project meeting is here.
Yes.
Okay. I'll keep in touch.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, Jordan.
Hey John, how's it going?
It's going good. Um, I think I think I just wanted to preface this by saying that I think we are still working on reconfiguring our systems, and we- I don't think we have any new insights uh, that we have gathered in the last week, because we did speak last week, right? On a call separately. I guess what I want to just say is that, like, I next week I think we'll have more information on what you had asked us to do. So
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That works for me, and all makes sense.
yeah, it's just been like a little harder to test these systems because it's been just like, I think we ran into a few difficulties, and also we're trying to get that data feed for a different geography entirely. So that is where we're finding a difficulty right now. And once we have that sorted, I guess we can I can send a follow-up email and we can have a conversation again.
Sounds good. If you're struggling with the geography, it doesn't necessarily have to be a different geography. The whole
Okay.
reason I brought that up was just because like it's a completely different set of stocks and indices
Mhm.
and considerations. But that was really more meant to be just an example. Like as long as
Okay.
it's not the same underlying stocks as like the index you're comparing it to, which was the Russell 3000 or the S&P 500,
Mhm.
like there's other stocks in America, on the New York Stock Exchange or the Dow that like have the same like that are different stocks entirely, but
Mhm.
could be used. So like, yeah, I mean, like saying that out loud, it's still better to use a completely different set of universe, like a
Yeah,
different geography. But if you're finding that difficult to access, like we don't have to go down that route. We can always troubleshoot and use an easier, viable route.
got it. All right. Yeah, we'll do our best, and if not, I guess we'll try to find a little more uncorrelated index, maybe something like a world index or something
Mhm.
like that. Like, I know the MSCI has a bunch of these world index, so maybe that could be useful for us.
Yeah, it's worth tracking. You can also just like if you struggle to find a real NX, you can also just create one. Create a custom portfolio. Pick like you and Vincent and the crew. Just like pick your 25 favorite stocks in the
Mhm.
stock market that you like following, and
Yeah.
then equal weight them. And then
Yeah.
you just created your own synthetic index. It would do the same job.
Okay. I see. All right. Yeah. I think that'll work also. Yeah, that'll definitely work, I think.
Just yeah. So if you choose that route, like it doesn't have to be like try to make sure that all of those 25 stocks aren't like in the same index as the one you're comparing it to. Even if some are,
Mhm.
that's fine. But you know what I mean? Like not like every single one. And like the
Yeah.
weighting should be completely different. Because basically, like again, we're just trying to see if we can get the underlying composition
Mhm.
of or it's like investments and weights to be different than what we're benchmarking to. And
Yeah.
then we can, reweight it because then if you run into the situation where most of the stocks are the same as the ones that are in the index, the algorithm may accidentally weight them proportionally to how it is in the index.
Yeah.
And we don't want that. So there's a few considerations you have to make when you do that. But just to keep it simple, like if you don't like intention, if you just like check it and you're like, all right, we picked 25 stocks and only like 4 or 5 or 6 of them are in the benchmark we're comparing it to, like that's fine. Like
Okay.
just pick the stocks you like, as long as they're like a pretty different composition as the benchmark, and it should work.
All right. That's good. Sounds good for us. Yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, that's it. This call can be quick and easy then.
Yeah.
Get you back here Friday morning.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely.
All right, awesome. Thank you. And looking forward to the next update. Just let me know.
Thank you. Will do. And
Awesome. See ya.
see
Have a
you.
good weekend.
Yes, too. Bye.
Patrick, sorry about that. It's just
No, please. It's okay. What do I have here? So you have you met Junal and
no, I have not. No. Good morning, guys.
down is pretty bad. What's going
Good
on?
morning.
Morning.
Good morning. I don't know why my note taker always kind of comes in. It's just it's like the video is always set on. I don't know how to set it off. I think you can do it on your end though, Patrick.
Sorry.
Is Edson joining us today as well?
Yes. I'm sorry, is what?
Edson joining us today.
No, he said he had an emergency. So maybe you don't I'm trying to set up my my system here on this.
Okay.
I'm
I mean, maybe
you could,
Joseph and
yeah, please.
is it Drew now? Drew now?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's
Okay.
perfect.
Excellent. Maybe you guys can just tell me a bit about yourselves and what you're doing and where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I'm in New Mexico of all places. So,
My wife
just
loves New Mexico. She's a massive fan. She's never stops talking about getting out to New Mexico.
in Albuquerque.
Albuquerque, and I haven't been to New Mexico. I've seen a lot of
Oh,
but so
oh,
I don't really know. But yes, she's constantly telling me that I think we're going to be going there next month sometime, actually.
okay. Fair warning, when you do come here, like they'll ask you if you want green chili or red chili in basically anything you eat. Like anything, a hot
I
dog,
love it
burger.
already. I love it already. I love chili.
That's good. That's good. But yeah, I mean, I am gonna be starting the MFE program like this fall, and I did my undergrad also at Lehigh in finance, and that's how I met Professor Zorro because I took one of the classes with him, and he kind of talked to me about the program. It just seemed really intriguing. I do want to go into working in risk management once I graduate, so that is kind of why I'm doing this program and this project being my hopefully being my first project soon. Um, so yeah,
Risk management, you'll definitely have a home here in that sense.
true.
And Joseph?
I'm a senior at Lehigh University. I have one more year of my bachelor's degree. I'm working towards a physics degree, and also a minor in computer science. But I wasn't super interested in graduate school for physics. And I met with Professor Zorro, and financial engineering and quantitative finance seemed like a really good way for me to bring my STEM skills into the finance world.
Awesome. So you're doing computer science at Lehigh now as well as a kind of minor, is that right?
Yes, I'm doing a minor degree in computer science engineering, and I'm doing a major in physics.
Okay, and is that with Professor Korth's team?
I took a blockchain class with
Right,
Professor Korth, and
right.
I'll be taking another one in the fall. But the physics is unrelated, just one of the computer science classes.
Right. And do you have any particular focus in terms of computer science?
I'm really interested in blockchain and AI, most especially. But
Well, sorry, go ahead.
I have experience in C, Java, Python.
Grand. Well, definitely, you both seem perfectly suited for this project in many senses. It is 100% about blockchain, 100% about AI, 100% about data, and 100% about risk, really. And I don't know how much you know about the project as yet. Um, I'm happy to give you an overview. There's a lot. In fact, you know what I'm going to do while we talk? Actually, I'm terrible at talking and typing at the same
At the
time.
same time. But I wanted to know, Junan and Joseph, did you spoken to Edson, right? Has he tell you about the project or?
I've been texting Edson in the
Okay.
past couple weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
have you seen any of the materials yet then?
Yeah, he sent us a couple PDFs with slide decks in them.
Okay.
I didn't get anything yet because I basically just talked to Professor Zoro about the project like 2 days ago. So
All right, so I'm going to put just one thing that I do send out to people. Yeah, white paper, registry. Okay, yes. I think this is this is a good overview. I'll just put in the chat here. When I think Edson will get us. Are you guys in the WhatsApp group yet? All right, so Edson can take care of that, getting you guys into the WhatsApp group. And what I need to do a much better job of is building a directory because our our documentation is expanding because we use a lot of agentic AI to do a lot of what we do. In fact, we're becoming a bit of a hybrid organization, AI human hybrid organization in many senses. So our documentation is getting pretty prolific. I would say, I'll just tell you very quickly what's here at the moment. So there's a white paper site, white paper PDF, Agent Nakamoto, and iCube registry. The iCube registry is going to be a bit abstract at the moment, and we don't really have the time to get into it yet, but I'll give you some context behind that. Agent Nakamoto is an AI that has been trained. It's like an AI, it's an agentic AI system that is effectively being trained on, that uses iCube technology, first of all, but then was also trained on the iCube concept and principle. So you can ask it questions about iCubes, and it's probably about 90% accurate. There's a bit of hallucination depending on the models you use. I mean, it basically uses OpenAI's GPT-4 and then Venice AI, which basically is privacy preserving, censorship resistant AI as well. And then it will tell you about iCubes and blockchain. So that will give you a great place to have an overview. I would say if you read the white paper, for example, and you had questions, that would be a great way to engage with the agent. The better the questions you ask, the better the results you get effectively. So, feel free to push the boundaries with it. It also, just to give you a little bit of context, we have a crypto media franchise called Meta Knights, which is kind of like a marketing engagement front end of it, but it is our lore, so our mythology and all whatnot. So sometimes it might veer into that a little bit. It will give you answers about Meta Knights, but it's still very much rooted. Even Meta Knights is rooted in iCube technology and iCube principle. So that's some stuff for you to kind of digest overall. But I'll give you a bit of a high-level overview on what iCubes are and what the project's about effectively, so you can kind of understand. Right? Making sense so far? And stop me at any moment if you have any questions as well. Basically, when iCubes is essentially a framework for managing information. Now, it's since Professor Zora and I started working on this, things have changed a lot, particularly in the world of agentic AI or AI generally. AI is just like come in. So in many senses, that's really upped the ante and accelerated the game and kind of given the project a little bit more of a focus as well, in the sense that it's a protocol for managing information on a first principle basis. But really, it's what it has evolved into is managing that information specifically with a focus on AI and agentic systems, and to provide auditability, reliability, etc., around how we use information and how we use intelligence systems. So the core of it is the simple way of thinking about iCubes. You can think of them like crypto zip files, right? So like a zip file, you can put anything digital into it. There's an immediate focus on structured data, but it can be struct data, it could be a blob, it could be tools, workflows, agents, models, all of that. In fact, we have 5 primitives that we describe in those ways, information primitive. But unlike a zip file, instead of compressing the data, what we do is encrypt it. And instead of controlling access through passwords, we token gate it. So effectively, you can use a token and decentralized systems to manage the exchange of information like you would any kind of crypto asset. So it's kind of, the analogy that's often used is that Bitcoin makes, or crypto makes sending money as easy as sending an email. In many senses, iCubes makes sending information as secure as sending money, effectively, particularly decentralized money. Now, and again, this is a bit technical, a bit operational. So I'm starting on the more technical side of it, and then we'll come up to the more business process orientation side of it. The magic about the way the protocol works is that you have this combination of public and private data. And basically, public data is always anonymous, but it's entangled with private data. So we have 3 primitives that we call a meta cube, a token cube, and a black cube. The meta cube is this public metadata. The black cube is the payload, the actual core data, and the token is what binds the 2 together. And all 3 are entangled, meaning that you can't change one without changing the other. And that means that what this allows us to do is verify information without exposing it. Now, coming back up to the business process side of it, I did start this round back to front, really. It's usually better to start with the business process first. But with an iCube, the anonymous, the metadata, the public metadata has got 4 metrics. Sensitivity score, which basically tells you how sensitive information is. These sensitivity, verifiability, accuracy, and risk. The first 3 are very objective and are really based on legal definitions, how sensitive, financial information, health information, for example, are legally classed more sensitively than social media information, for example, right? Verifiability is really based on where does the information come from, and then sensitivity, did I say? No, accuracy is basically precision, right, in terms of. So the key one is risk. The key factor that with the novel factor is risk, and it's kind of partly based on those 3 other ones, but essentially it's the way that we basically, the key one is risk. And let me reverse and come back from the top now to where we are to bring both together. Risk is the bridge, right? Now, essentially, remember I said iCubes are like crypto containers that, like a zip file, you can put anything inside them. So basically, the way that the system works is that a user declares an intent. I want to do something. I want to buy a house. I want to buy a car. I want to sell I'm just going to say lingerie. I want to sell pharmaceuticals. I want to sell, media. It doesn't matter. Anything. There's an intent that a person wants to have, right? And then based on that intent, the idea is finding what is the right information to fulfill that intent. Now, in AI systems, the new term for this is context engineering. So it's like if you want your AI to answer a problem, which is basically what you declare through a prompt as an intent, then the way to get it to do that most efficiently is to look at, well, based on what I want this AI to achieve, what information and what context do I need to provide it so that it can do that efficiently, right? And this is essentially what we do. We start with an intent, and then we understand based on that intent the context of the user. And that could be the person who wants to. So if I want to sell car insurance, for example, then it means I need to identify people who want to buy car insurance, and are they qualified to buy car insurance, and how do what's my risk level in terms of selling car insurance to them. I need information that helps me make those decisions. So the first part of the process is what we call curation. And that kind of stems from the intent. The intent is kind of like the trigger. And then we curate what is the right information needed to fulfill that intent, right? With me so far? And then from there, what we then do is quantify that information, particularly in terms of risk. And what we're effectively doing is saying that, well, if I take this information unit and isolate it, remove it away from everything else, and then want to understand what is the risk involved with using this information, then I should be able to measure that. And then if I can measure that, I can then protect against that risk accordingly. So the three business processes, as I like to call them, are curation, quantification, access control. And access control is basically saying that, okay, based on the level of risk that I establish to be associated with using this information, then I can take certain measures to mitigate those risks. Make sense? Now, so that's kind of pretty much the way it works, and then the risk then that access control then ties into the technical process, which is really around anonymization, verification, and then access control again, or encryption effectively. Yeah. Now, the interesting thing from the risk perspective is that you have negative and positive risk. So as I've described it right now, we're thinking about, well, what's the danger with me using this information? What kind of liability? And basically what we've done through this program in the last year in this MFE program is we've built a framework for that, like a prototype of that, whereby essentially we identified 26 different categories of risk. And since then, actually, I've run it through a couple of research models, and I think it's about 40 different categories of risk now. And basically, depending on what the intent is and depending what the payload is, we identify which of those risk categories are relevant. And then we developed a framework for scoring that risk against each of those, and then using that to derive a overall risk profile for that particular data set in that particular context. Very important as well. And what we then did from that was we used that to drive a pricing model for that data set as well. Because that's why this idea of risk being negative and positive, on one hand, it's like, what are the losses I can suffer from using this information? But then you also have to look at, well, what are the opportunities? What are the gains that I can make? What are the profits that I can generate from having this data as well? And we basically take those two different perspectives. On the loss side, well, I mean, it's not quite that binary, but what we do is we take this, I call it intrinsic risk, in terms of this internal risk, looking at, well, based on the nature of this data, we ascertain what the risk score is for it and what the value of it is in a market based on that. And then we bring a marketplace perspective as well, where we create a Dutch auction whereby the second highest bid wins. And so you basically bring these two together now, and you now have a vector for price, an accurate framework for pricing for that data set in terms of use of the data set. And our ambition, and this is probably in your camp, Drummond, more than anything, our ambition with this is to get to sufficient accuracy, precision, and granularity around the risk that it could be underwritten by insurers. And then that underwriting by insurance will give us granular precision on the level of risk and the cost of the risk, but also then creates a third vector in terms of pricing, which kind of gives us a real kind of accurate framework now for being able to price the data. So that, in a barnstorming summary, is basically what the IQ protocol is aiming to achieve. Any questions thus far?
No, I think the gist was pretty clear.
Awesome. And look, I think you guys are arriving at a really exciting time in the project because, last year we were really breaking ground and, it was really kind of trying to put our arms around something really big and confine it down to something that's much more tangible. Where we are now is in a very different place. We're in market effectively. At a very early stage, but we're basically building the airplane as we fly it in that sense. But we have the technology we're working. We actually now have a computer science capstone project that runs in parallel with this MFE capstone project as well. And we're ahead of we're building the technology, the platform exists now. We have a core protocol that exists in terms of containerizing the information, creating these blockchain decentralized iCubes, and use cases and front-end use cases. So when you see the iCube registry in those links that I've sent you, it's a prototype, but it's a prototype for a marketplace of these different iCubes with different types of payloads. So when you read the white paper and you go through the iCube registry and to some extent play with Agent Nakamoto, that's all live now. Effectively, Agent Nakamoto is basically we're in alpha tests, almost beta, alpha test with with two user groups, and a lot of this stuff is already in market, and we're really moving rapidly and evolving dramatically as we move forward with this. So cool. So, that's really kind of, I think, is a good starting point. And so let me just understand a little bit more logistically and operationally now. So school starts in September. Is it beginning of September?
I believe it's end of August.
Okay,
Close to that.
Okay, end of August. So are you guys working on this over the summer, or do you start it in the fall effectively? Not a trick question.
I have time to work on it this summer, but I haven't really been assigned any work yet. I didn't know a ton about the project until today, so.
Yeah, that's something that I think you guys need to understand. This is not a classroom environment. There's two things you're going to learn from the program, Joseph, and Junal, who's joining us soon, is so you have the classes, you have the curriculum. You come in, Here's a listing. This is all the, it's nice and neat. Then you have two other areas, which is basically the projects. And there for the projects, you have Delhi, right? He's telling you this is what he's trying to do. But I don't know if Delhi assigned tax per se. He gives kind of an idea, like in a real world environment, right? This is what I'm looking to do here. And then you need to understand what he's trying to do and see based on what you know and your interests, how what you can match. Right? That's a very important skills to get. And the other skill that you're going to get also is the fact that it's when when basically it's the same thing when you're networking, right? You need, I don't know if you've seen, but Delia, you probably don't know that yet, but they did a survey not too long ago in terms of what are the skills that are required, what employees are looking for.
Right.
And I sent it to the MFE through the app, but basically, and I think I posted on LinkedIn as well. It basically says that what they're looking for, right? Number one skill is problem solving.
Totally.
Number two, communication skills. So when Derek is asking, you have any questions? Communication, strategic thinking, and number 11, technology, IT skills, and 15, AI skills. So don't think for 1 second that just because you know a bit of AI and a bit of coding that, well, that's it, I'm done. So where's the job? And unfortunately, when you're going to see when you start classes, most of the time is spent, on the curriculum side, right? They'll tell you a whole bunch of things, but they're not teaching you the most important skills, which is, well, how do I work with Delhi? How do I communicate and figure what he wants? So don't expect a list of tasks to be performed and then you do these tasks. No, it's not like that. First you need to understand his vision, which changes all the time because the technology changes all the time.
Right.
So that's and Jonah, and since you're starting now, that's a very important skill for you to get. You may not understand anything that he's talking about, which is okay. You're not supposed to know all these things, but you're supposed to then catch up. That is very important skill. And this is the skill that we're giving our students. And that's the reason why they're getting top paying jobs and they are getting jobs because they're able to explain what they're doing. And of course you need the technical skills, I'm not saying. But before that, you need to, it's like the horse of Troy, you got to get in there. And this is, you get in by explaining and able to talk about projects. And again, it's not for everyone, I will tell you.
I completely concur with that, and I think it's quite an interesting survey, actually, Patrick. Because
It is a survey. I'll send it to you. In fact, it's on
yeah.
LinkedIn. Check my LinkedIn profile. I listed it, and students are reacting to it. Say, "Oh my God, you're right."
Yeah,
and
because
unfortunately,
problem solving and communication. I mean, that's everything.
but you're not. You don't have a class on problem solving.
Right.
How are you going to learn that? How are you going to learn that?
Yeah, exactly. It's completely a mindset, and that is definitely what separates the wheat from the chaff.
Exactly.
All right, I gotta run.
Okay.
Good to meet you guys.
We'll add you. We'll add you to the group me to the WhatsApp.
Perfect. All right. See you guys later.
Right. Hey, Nick.
Hello. This is
Hello. What's going on here?
I know. Oh, can you hear me?
I could hear.
Hello, Professor. Hello.
I hear someone else.
I hear somebody, but I don't see anyone. Who's Emma? Emmanuel.
Professor. Yes, please, Professor.
Where have you been? The call has ended.
Professor.
Just ended.
Yes, I'm having problem with my network.
I know. I realize that. Okay. When are you on campus?
No, I couldn't come on this one because of the visa processing issues.
That's fine.
So
then you could start working on the project, though.
Yes, you told me to speak with Exen so that they add me with the group me chat, but I'm not able to join the group me chat.
Why not? No, what
I don't
about the
know.
WhatsApp group? What about the WhatsApp group?
No, I couldn't get. You only send me the group me chat.
No, the group me chat is one thing. It's probably because you're overseas. But what about the WhatsApp one? Let me
No, I haven't joined the WhatsApp group.
let me can you give me a number, copy your number in the chat?
Yes, please.
I think we have a call starting with another project, but it's okay. Nick, we could wait a few seconds. Let me add you. Let me see. Hold on. You know what? Hold on. Let me give you the link. Let me try the link. Let me try the other way as well. So you could join that group. In fact, you guys could do it too. Hold on. Journal and Joseph, just give me a second. Let me give you the link. How do I add people on this?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Mikael.
All right, team fed.
So I know Kobe couldn't make it today.
Yeah.
He said he was traveling. I'm not sure about Nisha. Um, from my end, I was working on that I'm debugging that bug. And it's basically it's fixed. I just have to finish hooking it in, like so it saves the data. But I've done a bunch of testing, and the output is correct, if the numbers are correct.
Great.
So, and then I wanted to ask you about you mentioned the what do you call it, the API, and I think if it's just like the link that we used before, I think that's not too hard for me to get up and running again. I haven't looked at it in a little while, but I think it might be as simple as like a permission in AWS that got changed.
Okay, yes, please.
So I'll look into that. I'll
You answer me the other question. Yeah, we'll make it productionized during the summer and really make it go. Just so you understand and I think I shared this story once, like when I built my very first back test at 20, whatever I was, 22 for a pretty senior head of equities. It was very much like on the back of a napkin. I mean, it was real back test, but like it's not production ready. You're stitching things, you're piecing it, and you're finishing manually in Excel. But as soon as you show that to the PM, a decision maker, the very first week, the very next week after that is like, what's the updated reading? What's the updated reading? And you're like, oh, hold it. That took me like so many all-nighters to pull this thing. They don't care. So now I'm like a little bit on those shoes, but way more patiently. But we've had now many months, and the Fed is speaking, all the time. And I'm like, oh my God, where's the data? Because this is mission critical, innovative pulse on that. And I know it was like an early draft, but yeah, the API, I'm definitely kind of dying to have that like robust. Basically, if nothing else, just have the statements scraped, the API run. I mean, the whole thing run, and then API is the way that the data is then digested into my systems, and then that students can use it to have updated scores, write blogs. I mean, it's the production moment when it gets productionized. So yeah, I can't wait for that to work, and that's why I'm kind of offering an extra boost of resources during the summer to really productionalize that part, so it's like doesn't break, and we have a supervision from our end, so that way it keeps working going forward.
But by the way, I just got a message from Nija. She's out of the country right now, and she said she wouldn't be able to make it because of of that.
Okay.
So I guess I'm it this week.
You're it. Looks like we have some new
That's-
faces.
Well, they were from the previous project, but they may have some interest as well. Joseph and Jonelle, listen to this project as well. This is wholly different, but this is truly with hedge fund kind of stuff. I mean, Mikhail is the CEO of 2 Centuries. Are you in France now? Are you back in your village?
I'm back in the village. Guys, the opportunity in this project is incredible. If you have the ability and the interest and the drive and the mental capacity to take a bite into it, we're basically using large language models, ChatGPT, but there's so many others to test on one of the most important statements, textual statements that the Federal Reserve chair makes roughly once a month, a little bit less frequently, when they decide what interest rate policy to pursue. Interest rate policy drives a lot in financial markets and the economy. Beyond the Fed, we can have a lot of other Fed people, board chairman, etc., speaks throughout the month in various lectures. There's a whole calendar. So this project has a lot of room to innovate and take it to the next level. We can use different large language models. We can feed it more data, other textual data from Fed people speaking throughout the month and everywhere. We can refine how we use a large language model. Right now, we use it very crude, very crude. The most basic thing we can think about is we feed it the entire statement and we say on a scale of 1 to 5, what does it say about direction of inflation, interest rates, consumer, etc. We can do that step way more sophisticatedly to understand its sentiment. Every time during this project, a month goes by, 2 months go by, and the headline on Bloomberg or Wall Street Journal is the Fed is saying this, watch out. The Fed is saying that, watch out. Trump is going to fire the Fed chairman, watch out. It's one of the most important factors. And if the Fed chairman does change, how does the language change? I mean, there's so many. So there, on the research side, there's so many things to look into. These variables that come out of that data that we're measuring, are they predictive? Are they explanatory? Two different ideas, but both very important and useful. What can they predict? You can rotate different ideas. What are they explaining? You can rotate different variables. There's opportunities to write blogs about it. There's opportunity to convert it into an academic paper. But all of it takes hours and hours and hours of just diving in, finding your narrow focus out of everything I just said, and carrying the ball to completion like Nick has done. He really built 90% of what I just said. And it's amazing. And it's very close to being fully automated. This is version 1. The research based on that is where we looked at what variables it predicts and explained, has some promising starts. I've done some very quick things, but some of your teammates have done some insights. But some did more than others, some carried the ball more than others. But we didn't, I would say, if I'm just honest and kind of giving all of us a review, unlike what Nick has done with the system, which is again almost at 100%. He just said he debugged the last bug, and then after that, it's done. On the research side, the equivalent of that would have been a blog with a few breathtaking money shot charts and clear tables and sort of like a beginning of an academic paper. Table 1, table 2. The table 1, table 2 of typical academic papers are the most impactful 2 tables. Table 1 is usually descriptive.
of the data and everything, and table 2 is the main result. And then a chart. Everybody likes a chart. Something like that could be very, very powerful, but it takes a lot of, it's like refining, polishing the marble. It's the quick and dirty doesn't, I mean, I've done some quick and dirty that's promising, but it really takes very careful, as your classmates found out, like looking at dates, looking at all the different questions, different variations, smoothing, et cetera, et cetera. And then you get there. It's not for everybody. It's not about throwing spaghetti at the wall. It's about like really thinking one step at a time and carving this statue. It's a bit of an art thing. I know it's there. I've shown it to my clients and they're like, wow, this is super cool. Like you literally extracting Fed's intention through everybody listens to the Fed, everybody reads it, but now you have a score. So there's a lot of room, a lot of different ways you can plug in. There's a more hardcore coding programming, which is AWS, Python, ChatGPT APIs. That's what Nick has been doing. There's a part that is what I just said, statistical analysis, but really research and thinking, how can this data be shown to be explanatory or predictably useful? And then there's the area of feeding it more data, using different large language models, comparing them. Even within ChatGPT universe, there's a lot of models, but then you can throw in DeepSeek or what's that one from China? The other one I just started using. It's kind of incredible. At least it looks incredible. I don't know if it actually, but the green bug that eats other bugs. The green bug.
Mantis?
Mantis. What about the one from Elon Musk? Yes, that one exactly just came out. Grok.
The Grok AI.
Grok, right? Junel, you've seen it? I mean, it's
Yeah. I mean, I was just reading about it before this. He said he's gonna put that in Teslas to by the end of next week, the Grok AI.
I'll let you know what that feels like. But
Yeah, no, probably not the best.
no, but Mikhail, you that thing with the Fed is amazing because right now you saw that letter, right, that came out yesterday. He wants this guy out. So this is a huge. It's
He wants
driving the
interest rates
market.
to be pushed down, and there was a whole history of independence. And by the way, when we were looking at, like, there's a historical element here also that for years I've spent a big part of my time on academic research, and I focused on long-term history as my kind of niche to extract things over long term. And here we have that element. We had interns helping us clean up dates under Nick's supervision also. Making sure we have these Fed statements going back to 1933. So we have a long history, which is very money shot good. But there's like a whole history around Fed disclosing its discussions and privacy around it. And it was a very secret thing for many, many decades with a big lag, 5-year lag or something. They would disclose things in the beginning. And then there was these famous Congress people that fought the Fed for many, many years to release their statements more often. And during the 90s, it was this whole dance of how much can they say. Now they're a little bit more transparent, but every word is chosen so carefully. So when you have AI, like comparing it month over month, change in the words, it makes sense why precision of AI is useful to decipher this. And so influencing the Fed's independence has been this big historical issue. Fed wanted to preserve its independence. And now it's like, yeah, the elephant in the room in the economy wise, the Fed starts to lose its independence, and then US dollar is kind of crumbling with gold rallying, and the sell US trade is on because of trade policies and other weird international policies. So, I mean, I think they're weird, but anyway, I just spent all day on portfolio management calls with JP Morgan and all the banks,
all around the world, investing in completely different strategies from US AI all the way to China, all the way to India. And everyone is saying the same thing, no matter what party they belong to. The trade negotiations and tariffs, I just heard in US basically so far, and other countries are winning. So it's strange. But the Fed would be the next level if they lose their independence. Again, it's like dismantling things that have worked. Of course, I guess there's reasoning where it didn't work. Politics gets in the way, but at least on the surface, it's important, at least anyway. For our projects, there's again all the motivation to do it well, to measure what the Fed is saying, and a lot of opportunities to help you guys make your name stand out in the job search, and write a blog on an interesting topic. Like, okay, let's say the Fed. Here's a question: did the Fed's language start to change before and after the election? It's not going to show up in our scores per se. I think maybe in their volatility is less volatile. Maybe you have to ask ChatGPT some other questions. You have to think, how would it change? And then if the chairman does change, does the language change? How about the other people speaking from the Fed? So you could be on the cover of wallstreetjournal.com very quickly with the right quality write up on this stuff. Students and academics from Lehigh master's program are discovered this thing in the language. I mean, that's how powerful this stuff is. But it can be wrong and it can be shallow, and it has to be really credible. That's a pep talk.
Yeah, I just want to say, I mean, this project, it is really exciting, especially at this point, because a lot of the foundation it's finally like being finished, being laid, and there's a ton to be mined from it that, and there are definitely a lot of ways that you can basically make a name for yourself, like the blogs and things. I mean, unfortunately, I haven't gotten to that yet, but it's like I've laid this foundation that I expect to be very useful going for
Yeah, and Nick, and
well,
during
for
the
myself, I
interview,
mean, for others too.
when you're doing the interviews, hopefully having interviews, you definitely feel free to discuss all this, and I think it's very clear. Hopefully they recognize that. They don't, they're not innovating enough.
But yeah, it's
so we'll get you people to well, you have Kobe, you have also
DJ.
DJ, that's two. Now Junal is very interested in this project, and the good news is he got July and August in front of him to spend time on it, to at least start getting some of the crusp of it.
Because we were thinking of incorporating AI, but we didn't have sufficient time. But for one of our classes, we kind of did like a sentiment analysis on like the 10Ks of all S&P 500 companies, just to like compare the returns and like what the wording is in it, like what they're trying to say, what the sentiment is, and what the machine learning model can like what does the machine learning model think is gonna happen and what actually happened instead. We kind of like did a sentiment analysis on that, and we were thinking of incorporating the ChatGPT model for that, but it was paid and we didn't have enough time to do it, so we had to like kind of scratch the project to like just be machine learning till then and not be able to incorporate different LLMs. But yeah, this kind of sounds really interesting. So that's what I told Professor Zoro about, that I would also be interested in working with it.
Great. And it's much cheaper because we don't have that many statements. We did work
I'll
with
add you
10K
to the invite.
last year, but this year we're not doing 10Ks. And yeah, like 10Ks is a lot of companies in the cross section. Here we just have monthly statements. It still adds up, but totally different scale.
Great. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks
We'll
for
be in
coming.
Thank
touch.
you, guys.
Okay, bye.
So Nick, so Junal, what you want to do is get in touch with Nick. Nick graduated from the program. He's not working with 2 centuries yet. I mean, not yet.
Okay.
I mean, he's not working, but he's graduated from the program, and obviously somebody you want to know, because ask him about courses and classwork. You know, what recommendations does he have? That's also very important for him.
Okay. Is he in the group chat? Nick? Because I tried to look him up on LinkedIn. I don't think I found him.
No, hold on. Yes, he should be on link. This is Project 33. Okay, but you're not on. Okay, let me add you to Project 23 here, Jordan. Okay, done. Now you're on Project 33 in the group me chat, and I'll add you to the invite as well, so you know. And the good news is Mikhail is a very nice sponsor to work with, and he knows a lot of hedge fund managers.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yes.
Yeah, I just got added to the group me.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be an easy thing because it has probably not anything that you've learned from whatever it is that you've done at Lehigh or you're going to do, but you will learn lots of skills that are very relevant to getting jobs because it's what you need to know.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Okay. Also, Professor, the WhatsApp group, like, did you add us to
I
that?
couldn't do it. I'm going to ask, I gave your number to